After the death and burial of Jesus, his disciples were devastated. The King, Jesus, had fallen into the hands of the enemy, and his kingdom appeared to have fallen apart. Everyone has scattered and abandoned the hope in which they held on to just a week before. Jesus, the miracle worker, the one who had promised everlasting life, was no longer alive himself. There was no longer any reason for them to hope, or so they thought. Now, the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb early, while it was still dark, and saw that the stone had been taken away from the tomb. Then she ran and came to Simon Peter and to the other disciple whom Jesus loved, and said to them, "They have taken away the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him." And so the disciples ran to the tomb to see for themselves, and what they saw astonished them. The cloths that Jesus was wrapped in were just laying there. The headcloth was folded together in a place by itself. The disciples saw the empty tomb and wondered what it all meant. While the others went home, Mary stood outside by the tomb and began to weep. And as she wept, she stooped down and looked into the tomb. And she saw two angels in white sitting there, one at the head and the other at the feet where the body of Jesus had lain. Then they said to her, "Why are you weeping?" This question enables us to reflect on our faith today as believers. When we visit a gravesite, a cemetery, we expect to see death. We do not fully understand why people have to die, but yet this is the reality that we face. For as long as we have known, life is not everlasting, but it is neverlasting. This is what we consider to be normal. Even as we were going through 2020, the pandemic tried to convince us that this was the way things were going to be from now on. The world wants us to surrender to a reality that death always has the final say. Nobody wants to die, but it seems like death is waiting for us every day. And so, like Mary, we begin to weep in our hearts because of this reality. Mary was so overwhelmed with sadness, she did not realize that Jesus was standing right in front of her. She had mistaken him for the gardener. Jesus says to her, "Why are you weeping? Who are you looking for?" For some reason, even as he says this to her, Mary did not realize she was talking to Jesus. She says, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." When Jesus calls out to her, she finally realized she was talking to her Savior. At the sound of the shepherd's voice, she awakens to find her hope renewed. In the same way, Jesus is calling us to renew our hope today. In many ways, we have to wrestle with the same question: why are you weeping? Why are we sometimes sad at heart when Jesus gives us a new reality to live by? Today, He is calling you out of your sorrow, your sadness, your bitterness. Today, He is calling out your name so that you may see that He has indeed conquered sin. Death no longer has a hold on Him, and it no longer has a hold on you. Therefore, those who have Jesus in their lives will be just like their Savior. Jesus is alive, and so are you.